Hey there, mateys. This is Discovery Scout with some Pirates of the Caribbean film series here, and good afternoon, everyone. So today is Friday, September 8th, September 9th, 2016. So I'm in the mall right now. Hey there. I have an issue for you guys to know. I just wanted to talk to you about Captain America: Civil War, the third movie. Seems somehow after from Adventure Age of Ultron and from the movie. They know to each other through the newest characters, and they have one of the issues, one of the long stories. They're speaking about Berlin. They're speaking about one of the languages. Those that have that dude is one of them walking through this 1991. You know. Bucky knows it about played by Sebastian Stan. It was literally just still the Winter Soldiers. He has Bucky Barnes from the first movie, and they're knowing that each other. They knew it to be called what was gonna happen. You know. They're having one of the South Africa under the city. You know, Steve Rogers and Wanda Maximoff, Sam Wilson, Natasha Romanoff, and I think of course I do. They're literally just deserve it. You know, he knows what happened. He knows the situation here. You know, there's some trucks, somebody driving around the trucks, and then there's someone to drive food around the trucks, and they know each other, and they know about everything. There are a lot of people felt like about panically the terrorists attacking us each other. They're searching us. Whoever's gonna doing here, whoever's driving around, whatever's gonna going on there. So does I. Frank Grillo as Crossbones and his henchmen, as known as the Super Soldiers, and SWAT team, and the terrorist SWAT team. Each of us, they shot at that guy, shot at the good guys, and that bad guy says knows about to be safely, and the not of each of us is you notice about for each one of them. They knowing what happened. Captain Rogers says invading for the fight for of it just as needed. It's about skirmishers and terrorists, and there are a lot of them. Each one of us are very animated and very classic. Nominees, and the mostly the height of the hydrations, very explosive, and it jumped inside, and it struggles a stronger than mankindness, and it serves as one of the severes, and a whole lot to think about it doing here about being in relationships. Be unspoilable, being a mankind, being about the super henchmen and super soldiers, and so is I. They're literally just chasing one of each other. Black Widow fights against the SWAT team, fighting against the terrorist SWAT team, and from Africa. They joined from betrayed from Washington D.C. from Shields, and the misbehaviors of where the beware happens. I have it a bit boring with each other, and notice to be telling us that each other he was not actual beware. There's not really something about it, and they have worry about discriminations, and they're caught up about the tape, Color tape is long. Color tape is mostly have very zoom in, very speechable. If they have a very specialist, um, and it was natural ways, and those that have a very emotional for anything could be being timings before he started the attack, before this call is about few things to do were socialized. The radioactive calls the one enemy. It must be the crossbow it must be suspected warrants and murders and criminal investigated. He was punching hard. He was punching, jumping. He was punching, pushing through the tables into the dining rooms. Well, one of them outside the food court. Outside the food court, the fighting, the panic at each a lot of people, and she looks at her started to beat her up. Started about henchmen. They have armor and crossbones. Armor has a very knife on a wrist knife to keep it dodge in, to punch him in, and take out with those wrist knives. And she was considered who was emotional, hidden each other. It was hidden by the castle situation. It was by the cast. And very costly about face guard and all of it, adjusted all of it from burned by the one exploded from Washington D.C. on the shield. And those it has decided to see some where is it being doing there and what was it gonna be, what was this going on there. It was I can't see. And no matter what this happen, no matter what it's been happen, be weird up. He took the mask off and noticed what happens to the face off, and Crossbow says he remembers his best friend Bucky. He couldn't never be his enemy anymore. He remembers him. He could remember him. Buck and Barnes remembered Rogers, and he was considered. He was coming with him, and he started exploding from grenades, and he's saved by Scarlet Witch. He throws up into the building. Explosive what's happened, and Wanda saves Rogers from Crossbones from explosive grenade, and he was involved. They have involved what happened. She was explosive. She was alright. She was not her fault. She didn't mean to. Somehow it was how it was today. The fight was over. Just a long story, but Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, Iron Man. He speeches a lot of people. A lot of sitting down there for auditorium. In the beginning, lots of interviews, lots of auditorium, watching the announcement, the speech, the reviews in theaters, seeing things to those about who goes there, guys. She said, they says he was very proud of him. Tony was very proud of himself. He was still transformative for watching from young Tony, his parents, and his mom and dad. Well, that two parents and that two dudes, and my brother says it has idea was it from young Tony Stark. He was considering he was been about the last 21 years, and he was seeing things, a lot of guys, a lot of things last 25 years, and she was 26. Hillary was 51. He was a good idea. He was again saying emotional for every way, everywhere. a lot of in the verse, and it was done to get the go. So he proud of him, and the black woman was what happened there, but Sokovia from last year, and they have a very emotional involved, and that means it could be stopped for them from the Ultron's army from the Ultron sentries. It looks like the Iron Robot saying from James Spaden voice to Ultron. I haven't had much to deal with it. I do have a little much of that very deal with it. Well, I just wanted to go inside, to look around and see, and no Mackenzie, and Mackenzie's not even there. Just look around and see only. Well, finishing stories from our finish the story from Tony asked the woman what's happening there, but she was involved. She was a mess too. She would talk about it. She would later. She was walk away. It was suddenly how it's happened. It was how it feels. Well, wanna watch this TV breaking news from Africa from yesterday. Steve comes in. The what's happened there. She goes and not her fault. She apparently turned the TV off, and they can't see. They can't people seeing this crash. And she was certainly there was a came into nearby. Her job. He said this job he was in a very emotional ways. And a lot of sometimes it could lose for anything before very interesting, very mankind, very interesting feeling, very good. It's just mankind, very my mankind. And Vision came in by Paul Bettany. He was transformed from Connection from Avengers 2. He was definitely for us seeing about Wanda, and Vision was and seeing how it was doing, how it was going. Well, story's over. Story's over. I'll be back in the night. Well, don't forget to subscribe to my content, so tell about storytheory.com and text messages and commitments and on type of letters, and tell them Dragon Nuggets. Think about it, Jordy Stopper, Kid Behind the Camera, Rachel West, Derek Diesel Daily, Spin Champ, Scardy, Cuban Gang Shows, Let's Boot, The Boo Show, The Angry Grandpa Shows, Recycled Dad, Recycled Uncle, and Layers Lounge, and Creed, and Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google, Vines, Twitch, livestream, Google, and livestream, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google, Vines, Twitch, livestream, and Vine. Tell my own Chicago Story, Chicago Talk. And don't only forget to subscribe. And don't forget, keep your razor matey. See you in the night.